In total, 27 tanks heading into the eastern half of Omaha Beach were lost. The order to launch them in rough seas too far from shore left the ground troops with little chance of knocking out the German gun batteries.
It was crazy, it was criminal, and whoever decided to do it was a coward, in my opinion, because it was absolutely mad. They didn't want to take them right in onto the beach.
15 miles to the east, the tank crews heading towards Sword Beach in the British sector had no idea so many DD tanks had sunk. If they followed the Americans' lead and launched as far from the coast, they would likely share the same fate.
It was the roughest sea we'd ever seen. We'd never launched in a sea like that, and we were amazed when we got the order to launch. They stopped the tank landing craft, lowered the ramp, and the first tank went in.
Fortunately for the tank crews in the British sector, their commanders had decided to push their luck and take them much closer to shore.
We just kept going straight. We never moved an inch, and she bounced a few times. We got some water over, and Charlie kept looking at me, and I thought, no.
What we decided, we'd stay on top of the tank, because we'd rather get shot than be trapped at the bottom of the channel in a tank. So only poor old Ozzy couldn't. Poor old Ozzy was down in driving, of course. And then the naval bombardment started up. We had a constant view of this. We hear these shells hurtling over the top of us, and see all the explosions on the shore, and all the houses along the coast were all burning furiously.
Guns firing from them warships that were whistling overhead, and we kept looking at each other, me and Charlie, because we kept thinking, well, if one dropped short, because when you see the craters they made when you landed, you thought, how the hell you couldn't have got a tank in them actually and out the other side. It was, there's 16-inch guns,
Und als die Schiffsartillerie
When the ship's guns started firing at us, there came a moment when you thought, are we going to get out of this alive, or are we going to die here?
man glaubte, kommst du lebend raus oder bleibst du hier liegen?
On the eastern half of Omaha Beach, the American troops had barely any tank support now. To advance, they needed cover. They had been told that before landing, Allied rockets would make craters for them in the sand.
I heard a sort of whoosh behind me, and I looked round, and there were a group of rocket ships, and they were supposed to fire on the beach, but they were woefully short. It was like a firework display, but all the rockets landed in the sea a good quarter of a mile from the shoreline. So I shook my fist at them, actually. I said, they couldn't hear me, but I was so annoyed that they come all this way to fire their rockets up in the air and down in the sea. It was a waste of, well, everybody's effort and energy for a firework display that didn't do any good.
Omaha Beach was a disaster waiting to happen. Only a handful of tanks were left to battle 85 German machine gun positions. For the 70,000 troops heading into the American beaches, there was no turning back.
At this point, we are maybe 500 to 1,000 yards off the beach. We're going in. I've got 4 or 5 boats over here, 4 or 5 boats over here. I can see bullets hitting the water, and they cascade in the water like maybe 8 to 10, 12 feet up in the air. And your first reaction is, let's stop and let them run out of ammunition or change your position. You can't do it. I'm compelled to go. I can't, if I stop, I cause a major gridlock all the way back to sea.
As we got closer and the machine gun bullets started hitting the boat, it was just natural that the people went down, and they stayed down in the boat. I turned around and I looked at all the men to make sure that they were down and in their positions so that we could come off fast.
The ramp went down, slam dunk. These 36 troops would be standing about like so, poised in an assault position.
We came off in the run, and the man to my left was hit immediately. I could see him going down, and I avoided him a little bit so that I didn't step on him.
And by the time the last soldier is about in this position stepping down, I'm already back in the boat off and head back to the ship 12 miles offshore and stand by to pick up another load of whatever.
I came off of that ramp in a mad dash, looking. The tetrahedral that was there, I made a dash for it. I went right up to it, and I went down behind it, and I'm looking around. I'm looking for a place to go. Where do you go from here? Where's the cover? Where's all those holes that they promised us that would be here from the bombs? They didn't bomb this beach. Not one bomb that I was aware of hit this beach.
Harley Reynolds was well within firing range of Franz Gockel's machine gun.
For the troops coming off the landing craft, there was no cover on the open beach. Because of our machine gun fire, the bodies soon started piling up.
Just up the beach, British Royal Navy boat captain Jimmy Green was about to deliver his contingent of 32 American troops.
When they got on the beach, instead of dashing up the beach, as I thought they might, they lay down on a sort of rise in a firing line. Some 250 to 300 yards to go before they reached the Germans at that range. And there was only one winner for that. They didn't have a chance. They were wiped out within minutes, I believe. When you feel that you've taken those people to their death, it's a difficult thing to live with. I can still see their faces sometimes, those young lads.
We weren't shooting at human beings. For me, they were just the enemy. Had there been fewer of them, we might have seen the individual person. But there were just so many that came charging towards us.
There were dead people everywhere. They're floating in the water. The tides are turning them over. They're lying sideways like logs, rolling with the tide.
On Sword Beach, the German defenders were in for a shock. "21 of Straussler's DD tanks were appearing as if by magic from the surf, ready to support the infantry.
I could see quite well. I could see all the houses burning, and then as we came up the beach, with it supporting the infantry, you could see them dropping down in the shell, and there was shelling going on. Because you're a bit cut off in a tank, you don't hear what's going on. You see the infantry lads dropping, and you realise shells are exploding. You can't hear them, unless one hits you, of course. Then you hear it. But then we came to this line of beach articles, and on top of each one was a mine. And there was just about enough room